The Turkey Lady, God's Grace and Mercy. Victoria Ruvalo enjoyed a night out at a concert and then met an unexpected event in her life. What was it? Victoria Ruvalo, age 44, went out on a cold November night in New York City in 2004 with a close friend, Louie Raley, to see her 14-year-old niece in a concert. They were headed home to Long Island at midnight with Victoria driving. They were one block from her home when three college teenagers driving in the opposite direction approached, and one of them decided to throw a 20-pound frozen turkey at the side of the oncoming car. It was Victoria's car. However, the flying turkey hit her windshield, crushed it, and bent the steering wheel inward and shattered her face. Lou immediately reacted and removed her foot from the gas pedal, put the car in neutral, and turned the bent steering wheel toward the curb. When the car stopped, he held Victoria's head up so she would not choke on her blood. He then dialed 911, and the fireman said that Lou saved her life. Victoria was in a coma for 2 weeks, grappling for life. She survived, and the doctors wired her jaw, affixed one eye that had come out with synthetic film, and bolted titanium plates to her cranium, the bones that held her head together. When she came out of her coma in the hospital, she had no idea where she was, and then learned what happened to her. She looked in the mirror and said two things to herself. One, I am glad this happened to me and not to one of my sisters. Why, God? Why me? She learned that the person who threw the turkey was Ryan Cushing, an 18-year-old college freshman, and that he was a shy boy and a follower. Victoria said she always believed that you treat people the way you want to be treated. In her mind, that made young Ryan human and not a monster as depicted in the media. She asked questions about him and what was going on in his life at the time. She said she truly believes we are all victims of circumstances. Victoria learned that 9 months later, her case would be heard in court. Ryan accepted responsibility for nearly killing her. She learned that his conviction, he faced up to 25 years in prison. Victoria had a decision to make. Let the judge pass a sentence that almost everyone felt he deserved, or make a decision to, in some way, help Ryan. In her Christian faith, she realized that God is everywhere, and because of her faith, her life was given back to her. Then she said that she knew she had to save someone else's life, like Ryan's. If he went to prison, he would become a bitter person, and not only that, the taxpayers would support his life in prison, and Ryan would not be working, paying taxes for the good of his state and the country. 9 months later, after her disastrous November night, she stood face to face in her titanium bolted face with her offender in court. Ryan Cushing was no longer the cocky, turkey-tossing kid. He was trembling and fearful. People packed the courtroom to see him get what he deserved, a long prison sentence. The judge's sentence enraged them, however. He got only 6 months in prison, 5 years probation, counseling, and public service. The courtroom erupted as the public objected. Victoria Ruvalo did not object. The reduced sentence was her idea. Ryan walked over to her and embraced him, and in full view of the judge and the crowded courtroom, she held him tight and stroked his hair. He sobbed, and then she spoke. "I forgive you. It's okay. It's okay. I want your life to be the best that it can be." She allowed grace to shape her response. When some overheard her say to Ryan, "It's okay, it's okay," she said that they were words of forgiveness and she was not condoning what he did in throwing the turkey. She said, "I needed that expression of forgiveness or I would be consumed by the need for revenge. Forgiving Ryan helped me on my own life." Ryan's response to her in writing was one of gratitude. Here is what he wrote. "Throughout our lives, seldom do we have the chance to connect with the special person who possesses so much love and compassion. Your ability to forgive me has had profound effect on me. It has already made a positive change in my life. Life is not only about the choices you make, it is about learning from the bad choices you make. It is about learning from the consequences, good and bad. Miss Ruvalo, I wish you the best that life has to offer you. You deserve it. Thank you for everything. I'm sorry." Victoria's decision and compassion for Ryan had a positive impact on her life as she shared her story to people in Suffolk County District of New York. Her audience always responds in a positive manner to her talks. She concludes her talks with the words, "God gave me a second chance at life, and I just passed it on." Yes, Victoria allowed God's grace to shape her response that you just heard. "If I hadn't let go of that anger," she said, "I'd be consumed by the need for revenge. Forgiving Ryan helped me move on in my life." The unexpected turkey in her life that shattered her face led her to help others. And she said that for the rest of my life, I'll be known as the Turkey Lady. She then chuckled and said, "It could have been worse. He could have thrown a ham and then I'd be known as Miss Piggy." I close with words from Richard Rohr, who wrote the following thought in his book, Radical Grace. "If you do not transform your pain, you will surely transmit it." You have learned that Victoria Ruvalo transformed the pain she received from Ryan Cushing. She thanked God for being able to transform the life of Ryan. God bless Victoria. God bless you as we enter the Advent season. And next week, what will it be? It will be a good story about Joseph. God bless you and have a good week.